Hi, my name is Jonathan Hicks. I'm back at the Dice Cup, and this evening I'm joined by...
Hi, my name is Jayesh.
I'm Mark.
Josh.
And we've just finished playing Container, which is a game about shipping containers, as you might imagine around. So we have these sort of warehouses. These represent factories, and on your turn you take a number of actions. So one thing you can do is you can produce with your factory. So I've got a brown, a sort of beige and a grey one, and they represent the different kinds of goods. So the brown will produce the brown ones. In fact, we just had the end of the game, so all over the place. But I kind of get one of each of these, and I put them in my storage area, and I can decide how much they're going to cost. The reason the numbers are upside down is it's kind of facing everyone else, because everyone else wants to see. So I look at here and I say, oh, Josh is selling this for 2. So I decide, oh, I want to arrange them like this. So this is going to be the cost of my goods. Another thing you can do is you can buy someone else's goods. So you can see this player here is selling these 2 for 2. So if I wanted, I could pay. You have these sort of cards representing money. So I could pay him and I could take these goods. And when you take them here, you then go into the sort of dock area where they're ready for shipping. You can buy extra warehouses here to store them, but you can't have more goods than you got warehouses. So I bought 2, so I'm kind of at my capacity. So maybe I'll decide to price them randomly like this. And this is now available for other people to come and buy with their ships. So another thing you can do is you can take your ship. This sort of represents out at sea. So one action would be to sail to somebody's port. You can see Josh has got things available at the port. So I could sail to here, and then I could buy these for the prices that he's listed them at. So I pay him the money, and maybe I decide I want to take the 2 grey ones, but they go in the ship. And another action then finally, what it's all about really, is you're trying to get it onto the island. So I'd have to spend one action to sail out to sea, and then another action to sail into the island. Now, because I was yellow, you can see I've got the yellow ship, this is my area of the island. But when any ship docks at the island, we have an auction. And everybody except me, because I'm the one selling the goods if you like, everyone else would take the cards and decide how much they want to pay for the goods, and they put it face down. Everyone reveals at the same time, and then I can decide if I want to either take the money from the person who paid me the most, and then the bank pays me the same amount again. So you can get quite a lot of money by shipping to the island. Or I can decide, no, I really want these goods, and I pay the money to the bank for the highest bid, and they would go onto my section of the island. So ultimately, the various ships you can see will be docking at the island, and you're trying to win the auctions to get them onto your section of the island. When it goes in your section of the island, then they go there. And at the end of the game, it's the person with the most money, so you're kind of trying to buy and sell the goods appropriately to make money that way. But also, crucially, these containers on the island are worth points at the end. But there is a rather confusing scoring card for explaining how the points work. Now, we've sort of already done the scoring, but just for illustrative purposes, I think on my island here, I had 5 greys and I had 5 of those beige ones and a brown one. So that was my state at the end of the game. Now, one thing you do is you look to see which of these is the most. In this case, I've got 5 beige and 5 grey, and it's a tie, and you lose all the ones you got the most of. So if it's a tie, I can decide to get rid of one of them. And these are what the different goods are worth at the end of the game. So you see, beige is worth very little to me. It's only 2 points each, but the greys are my best type of good. They're worth 10 points each. So I then sort of threw all the beige ones overboard. Not quite sure why they disappear, but then you're basically scoring the rest. So I'm getting, as you can see, 10 points for every grey. I'll be getting 6 for a brown. This one, incidentally, the 5-10 depends on if you've got one of each, then you get the higher value, otherwise you get the lower value for that one. So you're scoring up those at the end, plus the amount of money. Most money wins. What do we think?
Hey, it's more of a trading game rather than a strategy game. It's fun to play it. It takes a little time to get hang of it, but eventually it's fun.
Okay. Mark?
Yeah, I mean, Jonathan says it's quite confusing, but this is a 90% valuation game. You've essentially got 3 steps of valuation: your initial production, your valuation on when you're selling them to be able to go onto the cargo containers, then the valuation what you think the value is on the island. Like if you pay for your own cargo, or whether you actually sell them on and double. So actually, I mean, rules-wise, it's actually fairly light. There isn't a huge ton of mechanisms interlocking. All of it's about going, well, I think that's worth that to me. Is it worth it? A bit of guessing what the people are going to bid. So it's not complex, but it's a pure economic valuation game, nothing else. And it works very well at that. The one thing I will say, it's £120 in English, so probably about $140, and that's a lot of money for this game. I'm afraid that's a very lot of money.
Josh?
I agree, it is a valuation game, but there are different routes to how you can value goods. So the entire game I didn't produce any goods, and I didn't put any goods in my dockyard with the exception of like 1 or 2. Now, most of my game was spent just delivering goods to the island. And the great thing about that is it allowed me to just keep track of how much goods were worth in terms of points at the end of the game, and I was just tracking that in my head all the way through. So there are many different branches and ways that you can value goods and how you can approach the strategy of the game. The first time I played it, I had a very mixed reaction to it. About 50% of the way through the game, I was really disliking the game. And then somehow it switched at the end, and I couldn't stop thinking about it for the last 2 weeks. And then played it again tonight, and it just reaffirmed that actually I really do like the game. But yeah, it's purely valuation. It's just how much does this give me in terms of points, and it's trading off between if I buy this good, is it giving me a net positive or is it giving me a negative? It's simply that.
Rating?
I'd rate this a 7 out of 10.
Okay. Mark?
I think it's, for me, because I like this sort of thing, probably something that's 7.5 and 8, lean towards 8, I think.
Okay. Josh?
I'll be around 7.
Okay.
Out of 10.
Yeah, I think they summarised it well. The interest in the game comes from deciding, well, how much is this worth? And it's quite tricky because there's no sort of like standard for how much something is worth. It's just pure guesswork to a certain extent. We found a lot of people were pricing the goods in the warehouses at 4, for example, and it seemed to stay like that for a lot of the game. But obviously you could have other games where people vary the prices a lot. I found it was quite dry, personally. I mean, literally, you're just buying the containers, taking them here, selling the containers. And it's just a bit too dry for me. I'm not that keen on this just pure valuation sort of game, but I think you'll know if you're going to like it. Some people will like this a lot, I think, but not me particularly. And the scoring card at the end, I don't understand at all. Like, well, I don't know why you're throwing away the goods you've got the
Pirates!
most of. Yeah, we were saying earlier. The one thing this game really needs is pirates.
Pirates can take it most.
I think I'd be on a 6 out of 10. All right, thanks for watching. That was Container.